what's up, everyone? Thanks again for tuning in tonight. Welcome to Tales from the Casino Pit. This is a podcast where we talk about different stories within the casino industry. Now, here are your hosts, Jay, John, Mike, and Danielle.
Oh, hello.
Like that?
Yellow world.
How are you guys doing?
Oh,
So hello. Yes. Welcome to our Tales from the Casino Pit podcast. My name is Jay. My co-host number one is... Whoops, I removed you. Let me just put you back on.
oh, thanks. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Game one, playoffs tonight. Let's go.
Yeah, could you tell people your name for the ones that don't
sorry.
know?
I'm Mike. I am really excited for the playoffs, so that's what I'm thinking about right now. So I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. My other co-host today.
Hey everybody, it's Danny. I actually thought Mike's 1 out of 16 was he was making a joke that I'm like a new regular host saying that there's so many now.
No, Danny. It was not it. No.
You're being shady.
I am not making fun of you,
Oh,
except for being a Flames fan.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's move on with that. Guys, we are streaming over 3 platforms right now. We're streaming over Facebook, Hello Facebook Friends, the Casino Industry Canada Group, and of course, the Casino Dealer J YouTube channel. So thank you everyone from over there, and thank you for subscribing. You guys are good looking. So Danny, hey, congratulations, because I just want to give a nice shout out to you for being promoted to the full-time cast. Woo! Yay!
Danny!
So, hooray, Danny.
Promotion.
Since we've brought you into the full-time cast, and sorry, by the way, guys, John, he's a little busy today, so if you were Googling Welsh bald dude, you're gonna have to go to another live stream today. He will be on next week, though, so just bookmark this episode. All right. Instead, we have our new featured host. So she's going to be on, off and on, for a lot of the episodes coming up. I think you guys know her. We have Michelle.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hey!
So I was going to say, like, the elegant, eloquent, excellent Michelle. So, Michelle, welcome to the cast. I was so happy to have you. I can't wait to hear all of your stories. So,
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
yeah. Anyone you want to say hi to right now?
Oh, dear. Hi to everybody. I don't want to exclude anyone.
I think that covered everybody, yes. So, guys, today is a special 1-hour episode before the hockey game. And I know Danny is the most excited one out of all of us to watch an Oilers game. So what we plan on doing is an Ask the Cast Anything episode. So if you're online, come say hi. And you can ask us anything, make sure it's clean, nothing ridiculous. We're not going to put it on if it is. So any casino-related stories or anything that you want to know about the cast. We are on our 10th episode, even though it's the 11th, but we don't count the specials because they're kind of in a separate group altogether. So this is really cool. We're on, 10 episodes, and we're streaming on Spotify and on iTunes. So after a few weeks, you're going to see those episodes come up. So I think, Michelle, your episode just came up, and we just put it on Spotify and iTunes. So if you guys want to hear it, I believe that's episode 7. So
I think that's one of the first ones that I'm actually quite talkative in it.
It was a great episode. I listened to it at work today, and it was a great episode. That was really good.
Yeah. That was by far one of my favorite episodes. And I really wanted to talk about the whole thing about poker, but I know we have a whole lot of other episodes, beyond this. So if you guys have any poker questions, I think all of us have dealt poker, and I think it's pretty cool. John's like, oh, you know, when Michelle is on, then I don't have to jump onto the poker episodes. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You know, it's about all the experiences that we've had, whether it's poker or not. So, guys, is there anything that you want to add before I kind of continue on and start hammering you and peppering you with some questions?
No, all good over here. You pepper away.
Pepper away. Okay, maybe I will. Who knows? Danny, is there anything that you wanted to bring up? You're not a little salty or anything?
No.
Just maybe a little peppered, maybe some paprika, but no salt. You're all
I
good
mean,
today.
maybe like a little garlic salt.
A little garlic salt? Okay.
But not like just plain salt.
Okay, no, you're bright over there. I don't see any shade today, so I think that's good. So all this inside talk. Anyways, guys, we have an hour, so let me just ask you a couple of fun questions here. My first question for all of you, we can go. Let's go. Which way is that? Clockwise. We'll start with Michelle. We'll start with our special guest, our special host. My question for you is. I'm going to have a guest soon, and she's a party pit dealer, and she's in Vegas. I will be showing the schedule just in a little bit, but we've all kind of played in some party pits every now and then. We've worked in casinos that have had party pits.
I've
For
dealt
you,
in one.
you've dealt it. Yeah, I've DJ'd in one. Michelle, have you dealt in a party pit before?
I don't think so. Maybe a subdued version of a party pit, but no, not officially.
Okay. I remember us having the one in Palace. We were all wearing jerseys, and yeah, I think that was like the closest to a party pit that I remember at the Palace.
Yeah, like there were some pits that were kind of higher energy, but I think it was maybe just the start of them doing stuff like that. I probably exited shortly before. If they did that a lot after, I think it was after my time.
Oh, okay. All right. So my question for you guys, since we're talking about that, what does a party pit have to do for you to play in it?
Oh my goodness.
So, some examples, maybe some good music. I don't know, like, we talk about like the Pussycat Dolls pit in Vegas. I mean, that's something that they kind of wanted to have here, and they tried a few different versions of it. They had go-go dancers. But for you personally, because you guys are in the industry, what is it that you would want to see on your end?
I think for me, it's like a good energy, but not like, I'm not a big clubber, like the constant loudness of being in a club. So like good energy, but not crazy loud consistently, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense. So at least some kind of music, right? We're not talking about, like the regular 50s, 40s, 30s music that you hear in the casinos for all of the slot players and
elevator music.
What's wrong with 40s and 50s music, Jay? I don't understand.
Well, Mike, now that we're in our 40s and close to our 50s, I think that's just the norm, right? So.
All right. Okay. I get what you're saying.
How about you, Mike? What do you feel?
I'm kind of with Michelle. I want some energy. I want some liveliness if I'm going to go in a party pit, right? I do want interactive, fun dealers. I know I'm not going in there with big money. I'm not a high limit player when I'm going in a party pit. So I want interactive dealers. I just want to have fun, right? It's some good music and decent, so you can talk to the table and you can interact with maybe other tables too. It's supposed to be about the fun. I don't know what else I can say. It's not about the glitz and glass, I guess, but just high energy and fun.
Yeah. Just to add to that, Mike. I just want to ask you another question. What games would you like to see in that party pit?
You just took my answer, Jay.
What? Were you going to ask that? Okay, why don't you ask that? Why don't you ask that, Danny, so that we can have your voice in the podcast? Go ahead.
What? You what?
I thought you were asking.
Games
That
would
was
you
a what?
like in a party pit?
What was that? Sorry, say that again. I won't talk.
What kind of games would you like to see in a party pit?
Well, I think you gotta have blackjack there, maybe a roulette table, and a lot of the prop games, right? So a lot of the poker side, kind of really crappy odd games, and they're fun though, right? Like I mean, you can sit down, they're mindless, they're entertaining, and when people win, people cheer. That's what I'd kind of like to see. You're not going to have baccarat, you're not going to have pie gow, you're not going to have craps in a party pit, right? So maybe just a mindless, boring, not boring, but mindless, not thinking, have fun games. Bring back Sick Bow. Put it in the party pit. with
Red
LED
dog.
lights around it and just flashing.
All right. All day, Danny. How about you? What do you feel?
I was going to actually say a more diverse range of games in a party pit. The one that I was in only had party pit dealers dealing blackjack. And then they had other dealers come into the party pit to deal the roulette tables. So I just think that it should have a more diverse range of games. Yeah, that was my answer, which I said you stole. To ask
You didn't steal it.
another question.
Okay. So to add another question, just in related to that, should those dealers have a separate pool for their tips, or should they be splitting with everybody else?
Who do you want to answer? Okay, I'll go first. I think they should be splitting with everybody else because they're a draw, right? They're a draw to extend people into other areas of the casino. So I still think they should be splitting tips.
Okay.
I mean, if you make the argument that they shouldn't split tips, you can make that argument for a lot of different reasons for a lot of different games, right? So
Yep.
I think as a casino, you either split or you don't. So I'm kind of with Mike on that one.
Mm-hmm. Danny, you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I personally think that party pit dealers should make a little bit more money, especially since when I was doing it, we had to provide our own tights and our own high heels that we were supposed to wear. They expected us to wear makeup and do all this other stuff where when you're not in there, you don't have to do all that stuff. And so that's also money that has to come out of my pocket or other party pit dealers' pockets.
Okay. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think they should expense it at the very least, right?
Yeah.
So you guys bring your receipts in and stuff. Yeah, no, for sure. They ask you to do something like that, and you're not wearing your regular uniform.
Yeah.
I agree. I was going to just say, because Mikey said probably not craps. We had when I was at Yellowhead, we had the go-go dancers in the pit, and it was really, really loud. So I think the thing with craps that a lot of people don't realize is that you have to scream so loud, and you're calling numbers, and if you're on base, you're not going to hear anything. The music was just so loud that you had to hawk the dice, right? And I think that's I don't want to say it's a security issue or anything like that, but it just wasn't fun, right? You kind of want it to be in its own environment.
You're worried about you missing bets and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You're missing call bets, right, and everything. Do you remember Palace had that when they moved the craps table in front of the bar and the stage area, right? And when the band started to play and everything like that, you couldn't hear anything. It's a security risk. There's customer service involved in there. You're missing bets. You're not paying attention to what you should be paying attention to because you're trying to focus on everything and see what everybody needs. So yeah, and you know what? If you got a good crap screw and a good table, that is the party pit. That's the party table. Right? What else do you need but a good crap screw?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I have one story that like just popped up. It wasn't really like, well, it was still in the party pit, but they were doing the Chinese New Year, and like we had a really good crew on. It may have been one of the Yellowhead or Palace or Baccarat or Argyle casinos. We'll just narrow it down because I'm not going to say who it was, but they were doing the lion dance, and we were like dealing, and it was a busy, really busy game. Right, we had like our players, our regulars in, and they were just like screaming, and they wanted to like play, and we had like a full table. They were doing this dance, and they went right in front of the dice table, so they were like against the wall, right outside of like high limit. And the head guy that was there that night would go and he'd get the scrolls and everything, and then he'd show it off. People would applaud, and of course he had to like feed the dragon. So then he had the lettuce, right? So he gives the lettuce to the dragon, and like we're dealing, and our heads are down. This freaking lettuce hits the whole table, and it hits us in the face, like not just me, the stick person, and then part of the box person, and it just went all over the table. It was just full of lettuce, and like it's funny now that like you think about it, but my God, man, I was so pissed off. And it was like I don't want to say what year, okay, but the Oilers were in the playoffs, and I was wearing like my jersey, like I was wearing
It can only be 1 year.
maybe 2000, maybe 2006, who knows? I don't know. But when that, oh my God, I got hit by lettuce, and I guess that's supposed to be good luck, but it wasn't, because like we were all pissed off, and who had to clean it up too, right? Like, so it was just, I don't know, I was just so mad about that, and I wasn't even the maddest person on the table too, which was hilarious. So, but yeah, getting hit by lettuce, and yeah, by a dragon nonetheless. Whoever can say that they've done that, right? So.
That's true.
Oh, here we go. A couple comments here. I will direct them away from the crafts table next time. Okay, now I need to see who said that, because I think that person might have been on the table, and it's Lucky. So there we go. I don't know. I don't know if it's Lucky.
It was lucky to get like slapped with lettuce.
All right.
Congratulations, you're lucky. Would you make a party pit like just full of prop games, like really stupid bets, kind of, right? Like just almost like Vegas Vacation, like how many fingers? Not quite that far, but like just some insane kind of like, why are you gambling on this thing? And it's just for fun, and people cheer when you win. The house has a 75% edge and everything, and it's just,
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess so. But again, like you need the right players in order to kind of fill it.
Oh, you do.
That.
You think that's what like girls stealing?
What's that?
You think party pit should be just girls stealing? Like just females?
No.
Because that was the party pit that I was in, and I always thought there should be like dudes there too, dressed in like suspenders or something.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I mean, it should be, I think you should have a mixture of every dealer and have the best, most outgoing, loud, crazy players. You don't care about their hands per hour. You don't care about their, well, I guess you care about the game security, but like, I mean, they're a little bit, more outgoing.
For sure.
I say don't care.
Yeah.
I've seen male go-go dancers. I mean, like as part of like a whole group of I mean, like not like by myself. I mean, as like a whole part of a whole troupe of go-go dancers, and I think that's the first time I've seen it. And yeah, I mean, like in Vegas, they had the mix of like guys and girls, so I don't think it's like out of the realm in order to like. I've
never seen it. I've never been to Vegas. Like I don't really. Like I've never been a part of like anything other than the one that I was a part of. Mm-hmm. So everything else is just kind of like, wow, that can happen.
Yeah, well, they had that at Caesars, right? They had the interchanging. They had the girls on stage, and then they had the guys on stage, and I think it was a mix. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we do have a question. Let me just. Ooh, there we go. What do you guys think of that? No, that's too bubbly. Do you see like the text on the bottom? How's that?
Yeah.
That one? Is
Yeah.
that one? This one or this one?
I like the
I think
orange.
the orange stands out a bit more. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we have a question. Okay, first off, that was Tony that said that.
Oh,
Oh,
Tony. I love Tony.
Hi, Tony. Yeah, Tony. Hi, limit Tony. He's so yeah, Tony was there. I'm sure he was there. Yeah, I'm sure he was there when that happened. He's there for the next. I can answer this next question. I'll let you guys go first though. But hello, Sherry. Nice to see you. What is the craziest thing a player or dealer has done?
I have one. It's not like when you think crazy, you think like, like crazy high energy something. But the craziest thing I remember a player doing. So I remember like walking in the morning and this player won the progressive on the slot machines that used to be behind the security desk in the old palace, like before it was switched over. And they won like 100 grand or something like that on a progressive at about 10:30 in the morning. And they sat at that machine and played it until 3:00 in the morning, which I just did not understand. Like, it just did not compute. Like, I know gamblers and all that stuff, but I just thought that was the craziest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah, holy cow. I can't imagine that. That's insane.
Yeah.
How about you, Danny?
Where's our friend? So, well, this isn't like crazy good, but like I had like just started dealing, and I remember I was like dealing this like $5 blackjack game. It was nothing like it was like no big deal or anything, but this was like 2:00 maybe, 2 a.m. And this player is like super mad. Like, he comes at a high limit. He comes to play at my table with like his last bit of money or whatever and his beer. And then once he loses it, he just starts throwing his beer at me and then knocks over all the chairs. And I just immediately like cover the tray. It was like, and then like, but like this guy like ran out so fast, like there was nothing anybody could even do about it. And I was just like, people are insane. Like, that was like my first thought. I was like, this is crazy. And then for dealers, I don't know. I always think it's like really crazy when like dealers like quit by just like taking off their badges and throwing it. I think that's pretty crazy.
Oh my god. Mike, did you hear the question?
Yeah, I did. I don't know. I've got two that come to mind. One player, one dealer.
Okay.
And one was we got gifts for Christmas in our casino, right? And we had various gifts, whether it be gift cards or slippers or blankets or something like that. We got vests one year, and one of our dealers decided to walk in the pit wearing the vest and only the vest. I think that was probably the craziest thing I've ever seen a dealer do. Other than a cartwheel out of the pit. Previous guest, by the way. But other than a cartwheel out of the pit, I think wearing the vest only down to go to his table was probably the best thing I've ever seen a dealer do.
That's funny.
What's Alex saying?
Oh, no, he's not.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Sorry. As far as the player, I think throwing a chair over the table at a dealer.
Yeah.
We all know a certain person who did that in the high limit a few times.
Hello.
Hi, Sherry. Jay's on mute.
Jay, I can't hear you.
Yeah, Jay's.
I didn't say anything. I was just moving my mouth.
He's just messing with.
Yeah, see? Yeah, no, I was just faking it. Anyways, this guy down there on Michelle's side, he's saying, "Hey guys, how's it going?" Hello, John.
John, we miss you.
Hey, John.
Hopefully you'll be on.
With family.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be on next week, guys. If you want to ask John a question, maybe he'll answer online there. So, okay. So Roxanne, hello Roxanne, thanks for joining. Roxanne says a player stole their losing bet on high limit and ran out of the casino.
I've seen that twice.
and security had to chase him through a couple of parking lots. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Man.
Yeah, that was it was really crazy because when that happened, like when I saw it, it was like all $500 chips. So then the casino decided to take out all the $500 chips from every tray in the whole place.
Wow.
So that way nobody could cash them in or cash them out until that those ones came back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
I thought that was crazy. They got it back, but yeah.
That's
Pretty-
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long time.
Holy cow. I think that happened. I think that happened at our casino once, where somebody went to high limit and just grabbed all the cookies, and then we had to change the whole inventory because of
the tray.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just reach over. That's insane. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna save my stories because they're pretty funny. I think I've actually said them already a couple times. Yeah, there's one where this guy at Baccarat. Well, I'll just say it quickly. This guy at Baccarat was he was like swearing. He was swearing, and he was scary because this guy looked like jacked, and he was all like muscular and everything. And it was summer, right? So then I go and I was the part-time games manager, so like keeping my license type of games manager at the time. So I was covering for a shift, and this guy started like swearing. It's like he got the warning from the pit boss. He got the warning from the pit manager. It's like the next time he says something, he's gonna like get kicked out. So yeah, he ends up like, he's on Baccarat, and then he just yells out like, "Fuck!" So then I go up to him and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, how are you doing? You doing all right?" I'm trying to be like, real, like, "Yo, man, you don't need to talk like that around here." It's like, "Well, what are you gonna do about it?" Like, so he's got that kind of attitude. It's like, man, like, come on, honestly, can you just like be like reasonable right now? He's like, "Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about me." I'm like, okay. So like it was like a minute. I like turned around and I'm like, not even close. I'm in another pit. And then you hear him just like start swearing again. So of course, like all like the Baccarat security team, they all end up going there and they're trying to like to lead him out. So he goes to the front door. He's like, "Fuck this place." He goes out. It's double doors in the foyer. So he opens up like the glass doors, and then the next set of doors, he like smashes it like Steve Austin, like the whole thing shatters.
Oh,
And then,
wow.
yeah, I keep saying this to Wes, right? Because like I always laugh. Wes is like the head security guard at the time, so he ends up chasing him down. He goes through the first set of doors, and then this guy was like a cyborg. I've never seen anybody run so fast across a parking lot. And there was like a fence on the end. He jumped the fence in like one bound. And Wes, who is also like super built and fit and everything, right? Like I feel safe whenever he's on my shift. Like he's that guy. He couldn't even catch him. This guy was insane. Like, and I'm like, oh my God, I hope this guy never comes back because like he's so scary. So, only like 1 out of 2 times where you feel like, oh my God, what's this guy gonna do, right? Like, if he comes back, like even our security can't catch him, right? So, all right.
Crazy.
Anyways, thanks for humoring me there for that story. But it was one of my favorite ones, and I always bring it up with Wes every time I see him. He's like, "Hey, there's that one guy that got away, right?" So,
The one that got away.
The one that got away. All right. So Joel says, "Hello, Joel. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining. This is I think this is the first time that you've commented on the channel. So, welcome." He says, "Good evening, everyone. Do you think an all-in button is necessary in all poker rooms?" I think that's a good question. Who wants to answer this?
Mike's already answered it.
No.
I mean, I
No.
don't think it's necessary for sure, but the only reason why I kind of like it is that way, like they can put it on their cards for their own card protection. Because like some people get really like aggressive, and like I've seen people throw their cards into other people's cards who aren't protected, and then they get mixed up and their hands dead. You know, that's the only reason.
You know what? That's a good example, and that's maybe the only reason. Maybe you give all in a special button, but I don't know if it needs to say all in, because if you're playing poker and
yeah, I mean it could be a button that doesn't say all in, but something I think for card protection I think is nice for them to have. So
that's about it.
Yeah.
If you're playing on a poker table, you should be paying attention to.
Yeah,
sure.
I think
Right?
I think for me, like whenever I'm all in, I'm holding my cards because I'm after dealing for so many years and seeing so many hands get killed that people didn't want to get killed. I'm uber protective of my hand. So, but the all in, like I've actually never played at a table with an all in button. I think I remember seeing it at some point, and I was like, that's a thing now. Like I think it's excessive. I think it's a product of. Like we just need to be better at educating players and things like that. The only time I could see it, and I don't know if this has ever been the reason that it came about, was if you have someone who's hard of hearing at the table, and it might be a way to help, like from an accessibility standpoint, it might be a better way for them. So you might have it on hand for if you have a player who's hard of hearing.
Absolutely.
That's a great point, actually. I didn't even think of that. Great point, Michelle.
That's super good.
Sorry, guys. Just to add to the conversation, we have a comment from David. Hello, David. He says needed for eye in the sky. So, I mean, that's another good point too on whether you want to have it, because I guess the argument is that you never have any audio, right?
But that's also pretty hard because a lot of poker is like also like verbal confirmation,
It's
right?
verbal.
Like, just say all in and just like put one chip in, you know, like, and that's allowed too. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure how far. I can see it helping surveillance too if everybody plays properly. But I mean, when you're splashing the pot and just throwing chips in, and you know, I don't understand how that would actually help security, but or surveillance. David, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that's ours from a dealing standpoint. So.
Yeah, it is a very verbal game. So like, there's a lot of issues you'd have. You know, with the eye in the sky catching things.
But also, like, sometimes, like, at least when I've dealt with all-in buttons, there's only, like, 2 on the table. And, like, when there's more than 2 people in, then you're only giving out 2 buttons, 2 people, and there's, like, 5 people all in, you know, then what are you supposed to do? Like,
yeah.
Only you can get it. Sorry.
I mean, I've never played with it, so I don't have a big, you know, kind of seeing the other side of playing with it and like the pros and cons of having it. So.
Yeah. But in that case, I normally just throw them like a marker, you know, like one of my dividers or something. So
yeah.
So should everyone have their own, or who is in control of these buttons? Because it could be the players in control of the buttons or the dealer. So how do you guys feel about that? We're looking at it like so many different ways. Are we talking a cash game, or are we talking about tournament?
I'm personally talking cash.
Sorry, you're talking cash. There's tournament, maybe a little more valid for a tournament, I guess. I don't know. If you're talking about everybody buys in, gets their own little button, and they throw it in when they go all in. Maybe, I guess. You throw it on top of your stack or something like that. That's not.
I just think that'd be like a waste of money for the casino personally. I don't think they would get very many of them back, or like.
Yeah, no, it's a souvenir and going to house game for sure, right? Like, I mean, I just don't see the huge deal of it in any way, especially because, like Michelle was saying and Danielle was saying, that it is so verbal. Kind of like a craps bet too, right? Like, I mean,
but like the only buttons that like I've seen given to the players, like when they cash in, is like the no bad beat buttons.
Yeah,
and those buttons I think are necessary for the players to have, you know. So
yeah, those aren't bad.
That's not it. I don't think they need to have their own all-in.
Yeah, you guys, I think this game is like evolved, where it's gotten to the point where it's way too literal. I don't think that you would ever have, if you had like really, really good players on the table, I don't think that you'd have people trying to take advantage of stuff like that, right? Like if I was like a no bad beat, I would just say I'm no bad beat. Like, I think it got to the point where people were abusing it, and now we have to like bring out buttons just for the fact that, oh, I didn't say all in. I never said all in. How can you prove that? And I think like some situation like that happened. And it was never like that before. Like when we played, what was the only button? There's a dealer button, the miss blinds, and maybe a kill button, right? All this other stuff that came in was like, holy crap. The no bad beat, you just signed a form. There was a form that you signed, and then you would just tell the dealer, no bad beat, right?
I think with the poker community, they kind of police themselves too, right? Like, I mean, I don't want to say they take things into their own hands, but I mean, they're going to step on it and stay like, you know what, you weren't in a bad beat. You were all in. This is it, right? Like, I mean,
yeah. No, I hear you. Okay. Sorry, let me just come back. Sorry, does anyone want to add to this conversation? It's a good question. I like it. Thank you. Thanks, Joel, for throwing that in.
Yeah, great question.
Good question.
Made us think. We were just trying to have fun today. Ask us anything. It's like, man, ask us a hard question. Jeez.
Yeah, come on.
No, totally appreciate that. It's cool because
I don't do anything too hard. No math.
No, but I mean, like we're all multi-game dealers, and even John would have an opinion on it, even though like he didn't like see as much poker as us. But still, like it's always good to kind of talk about it. And I know like the channel never really gets a lot of that, so it's actually cool to have a question like that. Tony says the card eating guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one never gets old.
I remember this guy took his hand from blackjack and just ripped it on the table more than once. They let him stay after the first time he did it. He did it a second time, and then that time they were like, no.
All right, Danny. This guy Tony is talking about here.
I don't
Handheld baccarat.
eating.
He is betting.
Yeah.
He is looking at the cards. He's feeling the cards. He has a bet. I can't remember whether it was player or banker. The first card. The second card. We're going to guess it didn't go his way. Crumpled it up. Put it in his mouth.
That's funny.
What do you do? Right? Like, great thinking, but what do you do?
Did he swallow it like a pill?
Oh, yeah. It was swallowed. Like, I mean, it was swallowed.
Like you might save that bet, but good luck staying in the casino.
Wait. The decision made was, okay, he won't do that again. Guess what happened? He did it again. He was kicked out.
Yeah.
I think he was kicked out for a week. Came back. He did it again. 3 times. 3 times he ate a card on the table.
Good for you. I don't think that can be very good.
I'm like, how do you get past 1? Like, I just don't understand that. I remember being up there and listening to the decision. I'm like, why?
Watch from. It was like it was also like handheld, and like you know how they have like pens to like mark down on like their little sheets or whatever. Like she peeled this card. It was a 1. She needed a 4, so she took her pen and wrote on the card 4 and threw it back to me.
Let's see if they notice.
Yeah.
Just a quick hello here from Howard. Hi, Howard. Nice to see you.
Howard.
Thanks for messaging.
Good to see you.
Hopefully you're watching the game in a bit. John had a story. Sorry, John actually jumped off, but he said, John says, a casino I worked in was robbed by a gang who hid in the toilet and came out with shotguns.
That sounds like a movie.
That's like the most terrifying thing like that would ever happen. Like that's probably like one of like my biggest fears. Like I don't even know what I'd do, to be honest. I'd be like petrified. No, thank you.
I missed that.
John's life is like lock, stock, and two smoking barrels. Like seriously, it's just kind of.
Oh, Michelle, you froze her.
Yeah, she's all frozy.
Oh,
okay. What were you saying, Michelle?
How about now? Oh.
Yeah.
I just said I missed that one at Palace by like 3 minutes. That robbery, and I don't remember what year it was, but like 3 minutes.
I think it might have been 2000.
It'd be right around there for sure.
It was around there, yeah. It was around there.
Our friend, an armed robbery.
I've never heard that in these stories.
Yeah, this was in the mall, and yeah, it was.
That was a big one.
It wasn't the casino though. It was Brinks, right? Because
yeah.
it was. Yeah.
It was right at the entrance, right, of the casino though. Yeah.
But I remember going in and then just them closing the door. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Right.
Yeah.
And then I found out when I was like in the break room, like, what? Like,
yeah.
Holy cow. Then all the people that were outside, they were like on the ground. So it was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize. I'm like oblivious to it, right? Just like walking in like nothing.
I think we all were, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my God.
Walking in, McDonald's hungover. There you go. We're not out here, whatever. I'm going inside.
Like seriously, exactly, right? Like the only time I ever see them close the doors was if there was like a brawl at Rum Jungle, right? Like the club would be going wild, and then like there'd be guys like fighting and stuff. So then they close the doors, and it's like, okay, there's a fight, you know. And then when that happened, it was like, what's going on? So it was it was a little scary after. It was like,
that sounds so scary.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of anything like that. No, thank you.
No, I don't think so either. So
no.
Okay, so Sherry says we had $500 chips or $500 chips taken off the table because they figured out they were counterfeit ones. Have you come across counterfeit chips?
I haven't myself, but I think I remember hearing about that in Edmonton somewhere. I'm pretty sure that happened.
I've never seen counterfeit ones, but I remember going to a tray and then like looking at like the chips in my tray and seeing different colored ones, and they came from a different casino that somebody just accepted before I got them.
I've seen that quite a bit, yeah. But I don't think I've ever seen. I know I've heard about. I know it happened. I know it. I think we all know what casino it happened at, where there was a bunch of counterfeit chips, but I have never seen a counterfeit chip in our casino, in one of the casinos we worked at.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Those were really, really good.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like when I don't think a lot of I'm not calling out any casinos, but there were some that they weren't really looking at the design, because it's funny where I learned this was like in Grand Prairie, because they had like pips, right? So like when you would look at it, it would be different shapes in surveillance. It's like, oh, that looks like a triangle. That's how we know those are like fives. That looks like a diamond. Those are 25s for sure.
Well, that's
like,
cool.
I didn't understand it, right? So then like all the pips and the tricolors that you have actually create that shape, so that when you're like looking from like a PTZ, it's easier for you to distinguish the denoms. So I was like, oh. But then like you see some casinos where it's just solid all the way around, and it's like, well, okay, now I can just paint it black and it's $100 chip, you know?
Right.
And at the time, you know, we had inkjet printers or whatever. I'm sure like they ended up like creating these labels and whatnot. It was getting better back then. And then you would just like kind of superimpose these images on your chips, and you couldn't tell, right? So yeah, just weird. I can see like there's probably like companies that can probably do that now, but it's a good thing that they added like the RFID, so that now you can't really make counterfeit chips if you have that security. But are you going to pay for it? Because it's like $4 a chip, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think casinos have to go there because the
Yeah, you do.
like I mean, you got 3D printers, you have cameras, high def cameras that can take pictures of anything, and you can copy anything now, right? Like, I mean, from the sides to the top to the bottom, it's copied, it's 3D printed. You go back and it's done. I think casinos have to invest in security, especially for the larger denomination chips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might probably don't have to do that for like 50 cents.
Yeah, no, I don't. You're gonna spend all that time for like a 50-cent piece.
Yeah,
It's like-
$4 a chip on a 50-cent piece.
So I don't know if you remember, like a lot of casinos, I don't know about lately, but have coins, right, for 50-cent pieces, because a 50-cent chip, if you do like a clay chip or whatever, it's like, I don't know now, but way back was like 80 cents, right? So it didn't make sense. And so because poker chips were expensive to get nice chips, what I used to do is keep all the 50-cent pieces from Baccarat. Remember those 50-cent blue nice chips I used to have? And so I actually ended up with enough chips to have a poker set with Baccarat 50-cent pieces. We had like 300 chips or something like that. They ended up having to buy more 50-cent chips because they ran out of chips. I think one day we just came and brought them all back, and they're like, "This is where they went. This is where all of our 50-cent pieces went."
That's it, the chip expense. And I know John posted something to the group earlier about chipless casinos and everything. Yeah, I just want to know, how long do you think it is before we go chipless? Because honestly, I don't think it's that long.
Yeah, it's certainly the trend. The trends would indicate that that's the way it's going for sure.
Yeah.
I think the first comment was all it takes is one hack to go back, but
That's right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. I mean, it's to the benefit, right? Like when you think about chips, one of the benefits to the casinos of using chips is that people don't think of it as money, as if they're betting with dollar bills or cash, it's really equates to money. Where it's chips,
Yeah.
Psychologically it's not the same. And I think that goes a step further when you have just a digital, amount in front of you. It's just so easy. But the hacking thing's an interesting dynamic to it, to see kind of who takes that step and how successful they are with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is something that you have to look at, right? Like, I mean, you have to look at all options, but I just see, I don't know, maybe a hand print or a hand scan to get in. It's evolving so
There's
much.
some
But
pretty crazy tech savvy people out there, though. Like, I think I think it will happen, and it probably, that's pretty crazy.
Mhm.
Right?
I'm the worst. It would not be me. I don't even know how to use my phone. These people like good at technology, I just don't understand.
Do you know what I miss? I was 18 and 19, and you know how we are with like money. Well, okay, how I was with money, I was terrible, but I really thought that they would have interact machines on the table so that I could just like cash in for like $19 because I didn't have 20 to withdraw out of the ATM. So it's like 19, right? Or 18, whatever the fee is. I really thought that was going to happen. It never did. So
That's surprising. At the very least, I would expect that to happen, to make it easier to buy in. I feel like the technology is there right now if you wanted to do it.
Well, it's for sure there, but that means that the ATM machines don't get to make their extra like $4 per transaction, like this, that, the other. Like.
You got a point. I think it is right now. Back when we were 18 and 19, the technology definitely wasn't there, man. I'm just gonna say, we didn't have the technology 20 years ago.
All right. Well, I don't think it would be responsible for a casino to do that. It's like, let me take every single cent out of your bank account. It's like, well,
Apple Pay.
Yeah, we'll let you buy in for $5, but we're gonna take $4 charge. So we'll give you $1 back. You can play it. We'll take a $1 bet. Sure. Like, no. All right, couple more comments. Look at this. We're almost done. We have like 5 minutes left, and then that's a good week, guys. All right.
It's a good week.
That's Tony again. He says, hungry guy. He says, we're to the guy that ate the cards. We gave him a couple of drilled used decks just in case he got hungry.
Here's a snack for you.
This is X. He says, hello. Hello, X.
Hey,
Hey,
How are
X.
you? I don't know where you're messaging from. It's kind of weird. Looks like FaceTime. I don't know how you got that on there. New submission. Patrick. Hi, Patrick. Isle of Capri, Biloxi in 97. All of the black checks had to be removed to the fake checks. Yeah. Well, I was like, holy cow. Can you imagine?
Wow.
I don't know if that story is online, but yeah, I think I'll have to check that.
Look up, that's crazy.
Yeah. Hi, Joe.
No.
Hello. Welcome. Hi, guys. It's been a while. Yeah. Thanks for being on. Your normal check-in time is 6 o'clock during the games, 8:30 when there's none. So.
Yeah.
Joe, love Joe. Hi, Joe.
Okay. Did you guys want to answer this question as our last one here? At different times in your careers, what made you pick which casino to work at?
I don't think I have a good answer for this question, just because I haven't worked in very many.
Well,
I'm
what?
going to say city and location, most likely.
But okay, so now my question though, Danny, is why did you pick? I don't want to say Cowboys or Pure Canadian Gaming over, say, like Elbow or Deerfoot. Why that casino?
Money. Like, I also like that we were unionized. Yeah, and like at the time, like I just like went into like apply because like my work mother was also applying and she said, come do it. So I did it. And then I ended up getting the job and she didn't. So it was like a little weird, but yeah.
All right. No, that's cool.
Plus, it was also the busiest casino in Calgary, and I like being busy when I work. I don't want to stand at dead tables. Yeah.
Good. No, it's a good point. Mike, how about you?
I applied to Palace. There wasn't much, and I, just out of high school and everything, and looking for kind of a part-time job, and that came up. I'm like, hey, maybe. And they hired me, and that's why I went to Palace. And for the other casinos, the ships, I think it's a no-brainer. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to meet new people and see new things. And then when I came back, I did come back to Palace, and then a job opportunity lent itself to Pure Casino. So that was that.
Yeah.
That's where my casino life went.
Yeah. Yeah, you wore a lot of hats, Mike, throughout your
Not
whole
as many
career.
as you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's have Michelle answer first here. Michelle, what made you pick?
Sure. So I started at Palace, and that was a family affair. So my mom worked there at that point, I think she'd been there for 7 years or something like that. And my Aunt Lise worked there as well. So Lise trained me before I did my table test. And so I worked there for just under 5 years. And then I went to Yellowhead, picked that one because of the poker, right? They have the tournaments in the biggest room, way more action there than anywhere else. And then I was out for a bit, and I did end up working part-time at River Cree, and that was just because Alex was working there at the time, and it was just to earn some part-time money. So I worked there for about a year, maybe a bit less than a year. This mostly poker and craps when I was there. So yeah, those were my places.
So X says, I really expected three of you to say because of him. So
It ended up being because of you, X. I mean, honestly, I didn't know you before I applied, but when I did, it was 100% X.
Yes,
Danny too.
it It was definitely one of the pros to working there was X. There's no question.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
All right, look at that. My answer is because of like ex-girlfriends, and yeah, I was just a teenager back then, so relationships. Oh, had to go to another casino because of that. Just leave it at that. All right. So, guys, thank you so much. Before we sign off here, I just wanted to show this one picture. Because Michelle, we're adding you on, and we all have all of these embarrassing photos of us. So it's not embarrassing, but it's nice to have a photo with you back in the day. So let me just show you this picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, check it.
Oh, wow.
Oh man. What is that from?
Jay with hair.
Somehow I was I don't know why I have this blowhorn, but I guess I was like part of the group for some kids outdoor carnival party.
Okay.
Yeah. It was I didn't have any kids at the time, so I don't know why I was there.
You were a kid.
You were a kid.
I guess so. It was fun. It was at Snow Valley, and it was there's a lot of people there, and it's just it was like a carnival. There's like a dunk tank, and
well, look, I was gonna say I feel like Jeff James was throwing a ball at a dunk tank there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just what I thought. Yeah.
That's awesome. Great picture.
Yeah. All right. Any final shout outs before we end this live stream? Let's start with our new addition.
I'm shout out. I don't know who to shout out to. Shout out to Mike Shire. If you don't do his hockey contests on Twitter, you should. Michael Shire. And shout out to Lars Kallio, comedian extraordinaire. If you're looking for a corporate gig or something, definitely contact him. Infinite Services.
Ooh,
so those are my shout outs.
Nice.
Infinite Event Services. Sorry.
Infinite Events.
Both of those two, Froggy and Lars. Shout out to you guys for sure, and to everybody else for watching and putting up with us for a year and a half. I don't know how you do it, but that alcohol. Shout out to you guys, and to I'm superstitious, but to a team who is playing tonight, I hope the best for them.
I am not. I will give a shout out to the Oilers for you. And I also give a shout out to everybody who stopped in to ask us questions today. Thank you for your time and watching us.
Sweet. Okay.
That's tequila. That's not tea, by the way.
That's awesome. This is the schedule. Sorry, guys. This is the schedule for next week. You can pause it and look at it. We'll talk about it next week because we're just finishing up our podcast right now. The game's starting. So everyone enjoy the game. Hopefully all goes well. Danny, I know you're going to be one of the people right on to the tube that are watching every single minute. So
I am every second.
All right. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, same people. And have fun. Take care.
Bad time, same bad channel.
Everyone.
Same bad time,
Good
same bad
night.
channel. All right. Take care.
See you guys.